Hey, let's talk about supper. This is Sunday, and this was last night's supper. I think I mentioned in the video, well, I didn't mention this was supposed to be Friday's supper, and I didn't feel good, so we ordered out. Well, instead of eating out Saturday, since we had got something Friday, I said, well, I'll cook Fridays. Dawned on me sometime yesterday that it was 4th of July, so I told David, I said, you want to get some steaks? Okay, so he had to go down to his mama's and sister's, and he was going to stop and pick us some up on the way back. I was sitting over here, and all of a sudden the bottom dropped, and it rained forever. So I just texted him, said, pouring, don't worry about the steaks, we'll just have chicken, what I had originally planned to make with this meal. Well, he called, he said, okay, he got my text, he's about 10 minutes from the house. When he called is when I got up to start cooking. I said in the video I was going to tell you how long it took me to cook what I cooked, the whole meal. And that means from even just wrapping the tinfoil on the pan, every little thing, getting all my ingredients out. The one thing I did have done already was my produce was washed. I do that when I come home. Then I store it. Some say there's some things you're not supposed to wash before you store it, but I do. So, and I've been lucky so far. I don't know that there's been any difference. If there has been, I wouldn't know, right? Anyway, when he called and I went over there and started cooking, when I got finished, I said on the thing I was going to look back, see what time he called, and subtract 50 minutes. That's it. 50 minutes for the whole meal you're fixing to see. That was chicken breast. I did in the Instant Pot. They're very moist like that. A lot more moist for me than if I can cook them on the stove and in the oven. I just seem to get a nicer one. And roasted vegetables and Lazy Day stuffed potatoes. So if you want to see what you can do for 50 minutes that looks like you spent a lot more time, then stick around. I hope you enjoy it. That's what we had for supper here last night. So let's eat, y'all. The very first thing I want to do is get my chicken started. Now, I was going to make chicken originally, and then we decided 4th of July, let's grill a steak. I'm just going to put 2 chicken breasts in here. This is my 3-quart because it's just us and we don't need any chicken left over, so that's all I'm gonna do. And so he had go down to his sister's. He said he'd stop and get us some steaks on the way back. I'm sitting over there, I hear something and it starts pouring, and that was way about 45 minutes ago, and it has not stopped, and the sun is shining, and y'all know what that means. The devil's beating his wife. Of course, we ain't had no thunderstorms, but close enough. Anyway, so we're going back to chicken. No steaks tonight. Now, what I do, there's David's phone. Hold on. Okay, his ringtone is a 69 Camaro sitting there revving up. And okay, where were we? Now, instead of water, I use chicken bouillon. I think this is about a half a cup measure with a teaspoon or so of the chicken bouillon powder. Now what I'm going to do, since these are frozen, I'm just going to pour it on top to wet them so my seasoning will stick. And the seasoning I'm using tonight is the McCormick's rotisserie. I hadn't used that in a while, so we'll give it a try. Give it pretty good on there. Then we're just going to cook this for 14 minutes because that's how long I cook frozen breast. Thawed breast, I cook 7 minutes. So let's shut that. Is it plugged? Yes, plugged in, obviously. Well, the last thing I cooked was 7 minutes. Alright, now let's go over there and start our vegetables. First thing I did, I got the oven preheated to 500. I roast these just really high and really quick. So here it is hot. We don't have to have the oven on that long. Now I bought the zucchinis But I got them out and they are spongy like an eggplant. And I know that they're not good, but I'm going to cut into it just to make sure. See? Yeah, I'm not using that. That is just no. I had already bought these yellow squash for my squash patties that I'm going to make. So I'm going to have to go to the store and get some more. So what I'm going to do is chop up my squash. I had some green peppers left from something the other day. I'm going to throw them on there. Do another green pepper. Part or most of that onion. And some broccoli. You can see I got everything cut in kind of big chunks. We're just going to, you can do this in a bag, but I'm just going to do it right here on the pan. I'm just going to hit it with a little olive oil spray. And some ranch seasoning, and just to taste. Isn't this just so colorful? So pretty. And just kind of work it around just a little bit. Well, there went a broccoli. Okay, we're going to pop this in 500 degrees. Hold on. Let me get that before I step on it. 500 degrees. 10 minutes. Stirred around. 10 more minutes. And they should be perfect. While those are in there, we're going to start our Lazy Day stuffed taters. Okay, these I come up with 18 years ago. Because it's just like the name says, lazy. Back in the day, I cooked David real taters all the time. Just real taters, no matter how I made them. Then, sometimes I didn't want to peel them. As time went by, I can't hardly peel them. So I came up with these. I used instant potatoes, but since I have discovered the steaming mash, that's the ones we're going to use. So, these could not be easier. Oh, they've changed them since I had them last. The last time I had them, they were like ice cube size nuggets. So that's different. That's cool. Then a third cup of water. Put the lid on. Microwave for 12 minutes. Stirring halfway through. So while those get started, then I'll gather up all my ingredients to put inside them. Then 10 minutes, we're going to look and see what we got going on. Whew. See my poor pan? It'll go back down. I'm just going to stir them up. Okay, we're going to put them back in for another 10 minutes. Lord have mercy, thought I was recording. These came out right before my vegetables, the first 10 minutes, and I put them back in there. I just took my spatula and mashed them together. I was saying you could use your mixer, your hand mixer if you wanted to, but these are called Lazy Day potatoes, and you don't use your mixer on lazy days. So I give them some salt and pepper. I'm going to use 3 tablespoons of I can't believe it's not butter, and I'm just going to use this one for the sake of it coming out easier. Oh, I think we got a thunderstorm or something. Okay, get your butter kind of going around. Now I have 1 cup of skim milk. Not sure if it's going to take it all, but we do want them more of a creamier consistency. And I went ahead and made the whole bag, even though it's just me and David, because y'all know how he is about his mashed taters. Woo! He will have the rest of this, whatever I take out from myself. I guarantee you, before he goes to bed tonight, he'll have the rest of it eat up. Now that was only 1/3 of a cup of milk, so I will change it in the points. Don't know if it will change the points, but I will change it. And then when we get everything else in there, I'll see if we want any more. To this, we're going to add 1/2 cup of light sour cream. I should have had this scooped out already. You can use more or less, but we like the flavor of it. So, going kind of heavy-handed. Not sure how many servings this is going to be. I think this is the dish that I have weighed. Oh, I think it is. You know, I forgot. That's where that chart inside my door comes in handy. So I want 4 ounces of shredded cheese, and cheese will depend. Let me look up here a minute. 47. Yeah, I think that was right. I might scoop. I don't know. I'll see how we do it. Anyway, I want 4 ounces of shredded cheese. I'm using the 2%. Now I want 3 ounces inside and 1 ounce on the top. And yes, we want it good and cheesy. You can do as much or as little as you like. Close enough. So let me stir this around. Now, sometimes I put sliced green onions in here, but since I have those onions over with the roasted vegetables, I just opted not to. Okay, I think I will add just a little bit of garlic powder for good measure. Just a little bit, like right in my hand. Oh boy, it smells so good. Of course, the ranch vegetables in there sounds good too. Now, let's see, where can I move that to? I have the fully cooked bacon. Less than 30 seconds, and you can see how crispy that got. Oh, I don't even think I need a knife. No. If you can't crumble it, just use your knife to. So we'll add that. You can add more bacon. I opted for more cheese, points-wise. This is one of those customizable recipes. You can put anything you like inside. Okay, now let's put another ounce of cheese on top. Okay, well, 1.1 and the other was 2.95, so that's close enough. Now, since I have those vegetables in the oven, I'm just going to find my lid somewhere, pop it back in the microwave till the cheese on top is melted and it's good and heated through. So I'm going to start it on 10 minutes. Okay, the second 10 minutes is up. We're going to see if these are good enough to where we want them. See, you roast them fast and they keep a nice color. Let me see. You can hear that microwave in the back, so I apologize. Okay, do you see how easy that went through? So those are roasted exactly like I want them. Now let's go over here and get the chicken out while the taters continue to cook. Okay, the chicken finished cooking while I was over there on the other side doing our vegetables, and I've let it rest. It's 11 minutes now, so excuse me. I'm going to pull mine out. Now let me look. I always give David the biggest of whatever we have. He gets the biggest or the most, because that's just how I do it. My little silicone tongs are slippery. So there's my Instant Pot chicken breast. We'll cut it up when we fill my plate. Okay, I checked these after 8 minutes. I just had a feeling, and sure enough, it's melted plenty good on the top. And you can see it steaming, so they're good and hot. Now, since I forgot to weigh this, I'm just going to do 9 servings like a tic-tac-toe. Just kind of eyeball it like that. You can weigh it yourself and get a more accurate serving size, but for me this will work. Now I want my whole corner, that's for sure. I have already, let me move this aside. I have already scooped on a generous helping of the vegetables because they're 0 points. I'm not counting ranch. If it has any points, I don't look because I don't count it. And even if you do count it, pretty sure what we sprinkle on there is not enough to count. On blue, the chicken is 0 points. The Lazy Day stuffed potatoes, that is 5 points. So this whole plate is 5 points. I don't think you can beat that with a stick. Now, I have not, as I stand here, recorded my little intro yet, but I will go back and see how long this took me from start to finish. The reason, I forgot to look at the clock, but David called me on his way home. He was 10 minutes from the house, so I can look and see what time that call was and what time I came over here, because as soon as he called, I came straight over to the kitchen and started cooking. So I will let you know how this gorgeous supper, how long it took. I hope you enjoyed this, coming along with us to eat. Now I'm going to call him out of the bedroom because I'm sure he is starving. I told you I was going to cut that chicken, and I forgot to over there, so I got Mr. Maness holding the phone. I've never had a cameraman before, so I just want to show you how tender this chicken is. See that? See the juice in it? Nice and moist. Then I'm going to add 0 points worth of Ray's. No sugar added. This stuff is delicious if you haven't tried it, because you know my favorite is regular Sweet Baby Ray's, and that's who makes this. So then once I do that, like I said before, 5 point supper.